Hmm. All right. Sorry, guys. I think we're having some technical difficulties here. I don't see why I'm not connecting. Bear with me one moment, and let's just see if Facebook connects. Unable to connect. Okay. Let's try that again. Oh, perfect. All right, now we're streaming. So, what's going on, guys? Donnie Rouse here, and today we are going to talk about putting your life first. If you don't prioritize the things that matter to you, what eventually is going to happen, or what inevitably will happen, is that they're going to get left out. The demands of life are going to take over, and pretty soon you're going to get to a place where you're not even sure how you got there. And all of a sudden you feel like, there's not enough time and you left out the most important thing of your life, taking care of yourself. So in this podcast here, I want to give you a framework, like a methodology to look at your day and start to plan your day. This is what I call the life first methodology. But before we even go there, let's get real and let's just figure out where exactly are we. So in your life, like what are the important things that are getting left out? Is it getting to the gym? Maybe you had a goal, maybe the prior year you were going to the gym and you were making it to the gym 5 days a week, right? Doing cardio and mix of weights. But now you can barely find 5 minutes to go there. Write that down. Or maybe it's, like you don't even have time to spend with your family. You're constantly going and working that, you don't even, you kiss your kid hello, and then you're off doing something else. You don't get to spend that quality time. Write that down there. The next question is why? Like, why don't you, or haven't you made the time in order to do the thing that's important? The second thing is to that question is it scheduled? Like, is there a block of time on your schedule, right? Just like you block time for work, right? We're in this 9 o'clock, 5 o'clock, you're out. Are you blocking the time to spend doing the most important things in your life that are going to sustain the body, the system that is you? Third, what is the cost, right? Because anything that gets left out in your life, there's going to be a cost to it. So if we familiarize ourselves with that cost, it helps give more emotional reasons as to why we must follow through. Looking at the example I gave you, you can say, all right, well, if I don't maintain my body, what's eventually going to happen is I'm going to break down. And as a result of that breakdown, I am not going to have, I won't be able to support my family. Like, I'll be emotionally dead, and maybe it'll ruin the relationship with my spouse and my kids. And then lastly, how can you block 5 minutes of time to start to add these components back into your life? And the reason I'm saying only 5 minutes is because what we're looking to do here is we're looking to rebuild a habit in your life, right? Because your life is made up of habits. The emotions, the way you think, the actions you do are all habits. So if we can change some of the habits that you have in your day, we can literally transform your entire life. The inspiration behind this podcast, I was talking with a friend in my accountability group. And in his, while he was sharing the outcomes of his last week and some of the struggles he had, he was telling me how there was just so much, he felt like there was such a demand on his life that he didn't have time to do all the things. And we were talking about the working out, spending time with family. And he just felt like he was spread too thin. And I asked him, I said, well, what do you do for yourself? He said, well, I try to organize. I'm going to make a point to organize at the end of this week. That's going to be the thing you could hold me accountable to. I was like, all right, well, is it on your schedule? And he says, well, no, I just know I'm going to do it this weekend. I was like, well, here's the thing. If it's not scheduled, it's not going to get done. When you block the time, you are making a commitment to yourself that this is the allotted time that you're going to work on whatever it is that you're going to work on. And what I was telling him was something that I had fallen into as well. So with my own coach, I had spoken to her about organizing my life because I have all of these different projects going on. And sometimes I just don't even know where I am with them, right? I'm like, oh my God, the podcast, the coaching course, my coffee, and I feel like my head is spinning sometimes. And she'd always say, all right, well, why don't you let's stop and organize. And when she said this, I was like, okay, I'll commit to that. She goes, well, where is it going to be on your schedule? I was like, this weekend. And I was like, it also wasn't being that descriptive. She's like, all right, well, tell me the exact time. And then like the time I'd off, I would tell her block it, and I would send that time, and I would get clarity, like kind of clearing my space too, because your surroundings also influence your internal environment. And then I would get clarity, and then all of a sudden everything just felt lighter. But I'm going to share with you another story. The last few months, you've probably heard in the different episodes here, like I have a lot going on. And I don't say that to be like, oh, poor Donnie. Like, there is a lot going on, and we all have a lot going on. But I was letting the system fall apart. I was prioritizing the doing without being, without giving myself the time to connect emotionally with me, with others around me, with just being outside. I love being outdoors. And here's what was happening as a result of not giving myself and allowing myself that time. All of a sudden, it was stealing the enjoyment out of the things that I should literally be filled with passion doing, right? Like being here with you. This should light me up every single time. But everything was feeling like a chore. And then I realized that I was leaving that component out. I wasn't prioritizing the most important piece, me. Right? Like my workouts were getting, like I was cutting my workout shorts. I wasn't fully present, tuning my body. This past week, I found myself going through that thought process. I was in the gym, and as I was leaving the gym, I heard this commotion in the gymnasium. And I thought it was basketball. I kind of walked down the stairs, I did a quick look, and I was surprised to see that it was volleyball. And volleyball is one of the things that I love. And I was like, oh, wow, awesome. Like I was actually looking for people to play volleyball with, and it's right here. I walked downstairs. I spoke to the front desk. I said, hey, what's going on up there? Is that like an organized league? Is it just pickup? He's like, yeah, it's pickup. Anybody can go. So I was like, oh, awesome. And when does it happen? He's like, Fridays and Sundays. All right. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to come back next time. And I was ready to leave because I was like, I got to get home. I got to do A, B, and C. I don't even know what the hell the A, B, and C was. It was probably like eat, shower, and like I don't even know, right? You could always make yourself busy is what I'm trying to say. But then I caught myself in this thought process, like, you know what? I'm gonna go up there. At the very least, even if I don't intend on playing, at the very least, I can go up there and I could just introduce myself to people and make some new friends. This way, when I come back the following week, I'm familiar and they'll allow me to play and I've just made some friends. So I went up there and I did that, right? I also, the other thought process in my mind was courageous action. How can I take, like I saw myself stuttering in taking this action. And I was like, how would a courageous person step forward? I was like, go up there. So I turned around and I marched up the stairs and I watched the game and I introduced myself to a couple of people. Shortly after, I realized there were two guys there who I knew from playing volleyball at one of the middle schools. Like they're young kids. They're like FCAC. Insane. Everyone on this volleyball court was like jumping up, spiking. I'm like, holy shit. Like the level of gameplay here was like insane. I was intimidated to even step into the court, not even onto the court. So I was there and they acknowledged me. They're like, yo, what's going on? And so shook their hand and they're like, why don't you come on and play? I was like, no, I'm okay for now. What I was really saying was like, I was nervous about looking stupid because all the people who were playing there, they've been playing together, so they know each other. They're very comfortable. And also, like, like I said, the game level was, like, insane. Everyone was, like, jumping up, spiking. I was like, holy, like, I've never seen gameplay like this, maybe on, like, TV. So I was like, no, I'm not going to stay too long. I have to go meet my brother. So I'll just watch it. I'll watch the game. I started talking to a girl who was keeping score. Her name is Megan. And while I was talking to her, we were just talking about volleyball. I was getting a little bit background on her and how long she'd been playing. And she's like, then like, one of the teams was called off. She goes, hey, why don't you come on and play? I was like, well, I'm not. I was like, like, I don't know if I'm next in there on that level. She said, it doesn't matter. Just come on. I was like, you know what? Courageous action. Let me go. So I went to play, and I made a few mistakes. When the ball would come to me, I'd go to bump it, and all of a sudden it would like fly off in a different direction. Not because I didn't have the capability, because I was nervous. Right? I was like, I saw everyone performing at such a like high level that I was nervous, and I as a result, I was underperforming. But everyone was really, really cool and accepting about it. So it felt good as I left that night. I was so grateful that I took that action just to go up there and to introduce myself and put myself in the environment where I could, play and start to get, do something that was good for me, something that I enjoyed. And I'm not going to go into it, but as a result of having that experience, all of a sudden, like in the next day, like steps with my bottled espresso, like I made some really really big moves that I had been putting off. That probably wouldn't have happened because my mindset wouldn't have been there. But because I prioritized myself, because I did the important things for me first, I was able to take new action. And now, the momentum is going in a different direction now. So let's go back to it. Like, so the life first methodology, if you, like, I'm going to be doing my One Life course. This is one of the things that I tell people about. It's putting your life first, the most important things in your life, and scheduling those, and making sure on a daily, at the very least, a weekly basis, that you're hitting these points. So what are those points? We spoke about them before, right? We said, your body, right? Because listen, if you don't have your health, you really don't have anything. Another thing that I was facing with, right? I bought a new bed. Freaking bed is firm. Like, I feel like I was sleeping on concrete. I'm still waiting to swap out this bed. But as a result of doing that, all of a sudden I had all right, my body hurts. I need to stretch more. I need to get more alignment. And I started doing all the different alignment exercises, stretching, and all of a sudden now, like this firm bed that I'm sleeping on, I was actually sleeping on pretty good. But I understood that if I'm not stretching, if I'm not doing these things, then I'm going to feel shitty. And then as a result of feeling shitty, how do I show up for the rest of my life, for the people in my life, for my business? I show up shittily. That's a word, shittily. So everything in your life feeds into the other areas, right? So if there's an area where you don't feel like you are performing at your best, right? It spills over into the other areas. And the most important one is your health, because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. So what is it for you? Like, by listening to this, what were your biggest takeaways? Like, by hearing my words, what are you like, you know what? I've been running my life this way, and these things are important to me. And I notice that they always get left out, but as a result, I'm going to make sure that I spend at least 5 minutes prioritizing these things this week, because they're important to me, and they're important that they grow. And I love, maybe you love the people. I mean, maybe you're someone, family or friends, and you're like, I want to prioritize it because I want them to know how important they are to me. And if I don't prioritize these, the relationships are going to wane, and they're going to worsen over time, right? Things don't get, if you don't put the energy and focus, things don't get better, they get worse. And then once you've committed to that, block the time. Where on your schedule are you going to do that? See, unless you're writing these things down, it's very easy to get lost in the loop of your mind. And when I say the loop of your mind, I mean like you're going around about like all the things. You're like, oh gosh, I got to go pick up the kids, got to do, got to do the laundry. I got to, do this social post, got to pick up the kids, got to do the laundry. Wait a minute, hold on. I already said the laundry and the kids. Oh, crap. Well, all right, anyways, got to do the kids, got to do the laundry. And all of a sudden, like, now you're looping. You're doing it like you're literally telling yourself over and over the things you've already said. And it feels like a million things, but it might be like 4. So you must write down, capture all this stuff, and you must put it in your schedule, because what gets scheduled gets done. You just have to also hold yourself accountable, and make sure you do that. But I feel if you're familiar with the emotions that you're going to get and the reasons why, you're going to follow through, because that's what's going to, if you're listening to this now, that's also what's prioritizing these things in your mind, because you're like, you know what? Yeah, these things are important. And I know that if you focus on those, you're going to carry through, you're going to move forward, and you're going to carry through with them. So again, let's go over the questions just to kind of reacquaint yourself with the questions I asked in the beginning. Like, what is getting left out? What are the important things in your life that is getting left out? Secondly, why are they getting out? Like, what is the reasons? And you want to be conscious here, because we have flexibility in our day to do anything, right? At the very least, we can find some time. And if it means taking it away from social media, or waking up 5 minutes earlier, or going to sleep 5 minutes later, whatever it is, find the time to give to yourself, because I'm telling you, it'll make the biggest difference. Third, what is the cost of if you let these things wane or you let these things go out without ever putting attention towards them? What is it going to cost you in that area of your life, your health, your relationships? I mean, literally everything spills over into every other category. So you can go through, one of the things I do with people is I go through the entire, how every aspect of their life impacts the other areas. And then the last question is, how can you incorporate these things into your life? Like, what are the things you want to do? Just spending 5 minutes in your day to do something, right? And you could, plan it daily or just in the week. And then capture, like, well, what will that give your life? This is the fifth question I didn't even mention before. What will it do by adding this ritual into your life? If it's 5 minutes with your child, right, who's a teen and they're going through a lot of trouble, and you're having just a heart for heart, maybe like you get an ice cream, I don't even know. And all of a sudden now you're connected. Now maybe when they have a problem, they come to you instead of turning to something that's going to put them down a different path where they don't want to go in the long term and you don't want them to go because you love them. So I hope this podcast, I hope this acquainted you just with, the things that are important to your life and the life first methodology. I mean, like, do the things that are important now. They're not necessarily the things that are important and urgent, but they are important and they require your consistent energy and action in order to maintain and grow them. Do those things first. Block those things in your day, and then go into all the other demands of life. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, please hit that subscribe button. Share this with at least 5 people whom you feel could benefit from listening to this audio. And I think we all know many, many people, like I know many people who literally run around like their heads chopped off and they have no time, right? They're like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. Like, chill out, relax. We'll make time. And then lastly, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to send them to me via my website at www.donnyrouse.com, DONNYRAUS.com. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I realize you could be putting your attention anywhere, but you're here with me now listening to this. And I hope that in some way this benefited your life as well as how you show up in your day today. Remember, you only get one life. This is the one life you get. So make sure that you are living your life with passion. Make sure you're living your life with enjoyment. Make sure you are living your one life. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless, and I will see you